Hey there, and happy holiday season to all of our listeners. We do realize that this may not be a happy season for everyone, and we're here to talk to you about that. I'm Anna with Femme Fatalities, and I am here with my amazing co hostess.
Oh, thank you, Margaret. And like Anna said, we're here to talk to you about grief during the holidays and give you some tools and supports to help you during grieving. So, first one is you get to set boundaries. You get to say no. You get to have a way out. You you're not obligated to show up for anything or how long you're going to stay there.
Absolutely. And with that, you're not obligated to share with what you're going through with everyone as well. You have your safe people, you have the supports and services, hopefully, that you've established that are most helpful and most healthy for you. And don't let someone else's viewpoint or someone else's problem become yours. If you're choosing not to share with someone, it could be because they've proven that they are not supportive in the past, or you don't feel comfortable discussing those sorts of issues and feelings with them. And that's absolutely fine. This is your life, this is your prerogative. You have to do what's best for you, whether this is old grief or new grief or a combination of the two.
Yeah, so like Anna was saying, you get to decide who you share with, who your safe people are. Also, if you are going to spend it with family, maybe you don't stay at that family's house. Maybe you get an Airbnb or a hotel or someplace so that you can leave as you need. And with that, I love to come up with code words. So that way, if I'm at a family event and my grief is getting too big, I can let the person I'm with no, I give them a code word. Oh, I think I left the pumpkin pie out on the counter, whatever it is. I have to go feed the cat. Somebody might be like, what? Like, you traveled here, your cat's at home. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter if they get it or not. You could just be like, pineapples. And the other person's like, okay, pineapples. Like, we
Mhm.
know.
Yes. Or you could even come up with a catchy phrase depending on the dynamic of the group you're spending the holiday with. So, is there rum in this fruitcake? That's a great catchphrase. Um, does this have pistachios in it because I'm allergic to nuts? And, just something that might be funny to you and your safe friend that'll make you laugh. And then you can leave because it's always good to try and end things on a positive note. And especially if you have secret codes. I mean, who doesn't have secret code words with some of their besties?
Yes. And I appreciate you like trying to leave on a positive note. And I just want to remind people if you can't, that's okay because
Mhm.
grief is visceral.
Yes.
It can pack a punch. I remember after my mom died, we went bowling. I did not think that the grief of my parents being in bowling leagues my whole childhood would come and punch me in the gut as fiercely as it did. So we're bowling. My eyes are welling up. The people I'm with are like, woohoo, bowling.
Mhm.
Yay. And I just looked at my partner and I was like, I just need to go to the car. And he was like,
Absolutely.
okay. And he stayed and he bowled. And I got to go and ugly cry in the car and just and I didn't even go back in. And
Mhm.
he was able. So you're not obligated. Your safe person is there to say, you know
Mhm.
what? They're not okay. This is what's going on. And to take care of you and the situation. Because, like Anna was saying, sometimes we can be like, is there rum in the fruitcake? And other times we're like, I just have to leave the
Yes,
situation. And that's okay too.
absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Other tips and tricks, just take it at your own pace. There's
Mhm.
no manual, there's no set of instructions for how to grieve. Sometimes new grief brings old grief. The holiday season is a time of traditions and rituals for a lot of people. And when someone is missing from that dynamic, it really changed things. And thank you so much for sharing about your experience at the bowling alley and how that impacted you. And I'd like to share something too, if
Mhm.
that's comfortable. I did have a family member pass away about 6 months ago, and they were very supportive to my mom and I when we were caring for my grandmother. And although it wasn't someone I spent a lot of time with growing up, the communication we did have typically was always very positive and helpful. And they had a lot of the same interests that I did too. So around this time of year, I would start texting like, "Oh, are you watching the Christmas cookie challenge? Are you doing this? Are you doing that?" And coming to the realization recently, I used to bake all the time. And then when my grandmother died, I stopped baking for like a year. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Um, and then watching the baking shows was kind of just my segue. And then I was like, man, this time of year I'd really be texting my family member about all these cooking shows, and realizing, well, I'm not going to do that this year. And sometimes new realizations and new grief bring back feelings from old grief. And it's not just about losing that person or those people, it's also about the dynamics and relationships you have now. And, if someone was supportive or was not supportive when you were going through your grief experience, those feelings can come back along with the experience of your grief journey. And that is normal. And it's very helpful to identify healthy ways and new ways that work for you, because much like our grief journeys, we do evolve, we change, we shift. And that's part of our life's process. And it's really important to identify maybe what helped 4 or 5 years ago is not going to be as helpful now.
Thank you so much for sharing. And just thank you for sharing. And I feel like you really illuminate the new and old traditions and being able to say, I'm not going to watch the cookie baking championship this year. And then maybe next year you have a new tradition based on that relationship, or one that that loved one would participate in, because the holidays are full of traditions, and part of grief is saying I can or cannot participate in these traditions, and then the traditions that continue to grow with the season.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's okay to change things and do what's comfortable as an individual. And maybe just using the baking thing as an example, right? I'm just gonna watch the cookie shows and not the cake shows, or whatever you're comfortable with is where that lands. And that's okay. What's right for you is what's right for you. And if you are feeling lonely or reminiscent or just sad, the holidays can be very difficult for people, and those are normal feelings. And it's really important to remember you're not alone, that there are supports and services available as well. And if you need to talk, whether it's a holiday or not, there are so many different lines available. There are traditional lines, soft lines. We have them posted on our Instagram. Please have a look. We put these up there for you to use because we want you to have a happy, safe, healthy life. Even if this is a difficult time of year for you, we still want you to be safe and healthy.
Yes, and thank you for offering that to our viewers and listeners. And I think Anna and I are really just trying to say, you are where you are, meet yourself with empathy and love, because grief is a hard journey and it ebbs and flows, and where you are is okay, even if it doesn't feel okay.
Absolutely. And a lot of the things that you're feeling, believe it or not, are very normal. And just keep that in mind. There are a lot of places that offer services throughout all year and all the different seasons. And if you are struggling on your own, do not hesitate. Reach out for support. That's what these organizations exist for.
Yes, yes, yes.
And well, Margaret, let's end this, talking about on a positive note. What is something that always makes you smile about the holiday season, no matter how difficult of a day you've had? Is there something that just, when you think of it, you're like, oh, okay, this season I'm gonna get through. It's gonna be okay.
I just love the lights, like
Mhm.
holiday lights. I just love the holiday lights. How about yourself?
The smells, and I know that's weird, but
No,
we
not
have
at all.
like certain recipes in our family that have been passed down. So like I'll walk into a family member's house and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, it smells just like when I was a kid at so and so's," and just that comfort
Mhm.
is really nice. And you know, continuing bonds, which we talk about all the time, and making meaning, and being able to keep passing those recipes through the family, and keep those traditions alive. And you know, it's important, and it's nice to know that they're still going on.
Yes, I think you touch on something huge. The smells, the recipes,
Mhm.
especially during the holidays. My daughter and I make black bottom pie, which my grandmother made and my mom made. And
Mhm.
yeah, that brings joy too. And so, yeah, like connect how you're going to connect or say, no, I can't make the pie this year.
Mhm.
Or I have to go cry because I just walked in the house and I smell that
Yeah.
smell. Yes.
Or even if you do make the pie and you eat the whole thing by yourself, that's okay too. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, from both of us to all of you, we do wish you a safe and healthy holiday season. We hope that it is something that enables you to continue bonds and hopefully make new memories that you'll back upon and really enjoy when you think of them.
We appreciate that you share your time with us, and we love and appreciate you just for being our listeners and watchers. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. And please comment below. If you're struggling, please feel free to DM us as well. We will get you in touch with a resource that hopefully will be very helpful to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.